As stewards of capital, we look at investment through a paradigm, and we look at three specific things as a common denominator to all of the decisions we make. Whenever we're looking at our development and making decisions, we look at things through the lens of time and making sure that we're managing and being very cognizant of that, as well as profitability and overall risk. It's always risk, reward, and time. So what we try and accomplish is a balance between them. And inherently within the development process, there's going to be times where you can't achieve all three. There's going to be times where you're going to have to sacrifice time and allow for things to go longer than they should in order to preserve either your return or to minimize the risk that you're taking. And conversely, there's going to be times where you're trading off another one in favor of the other. But that's something that we always look at. It's top of mind whenever we make these decisions. So for our investors, what we're trying to really help them understand is the fluidity and dynamic nature of the process and the filter through which we look when we're making those decisions and taking those three specific elements and keeping them top of mind with all the decisions that we're making. The biggest thing we pride ourselves on is being knowledgeable and being as close to the forefront of knowledge and information as we can be. And it's to be adaptable. Because I always say that, you can't predict what's going to happen. What you can't control is having the right team around the table and the right strategy in order to be able to mitigate those risks. So really all you can do to be able to protect investors' capital and maximize their returns is make sure that you have the right people around the table and that you have enough smart people to be able to come up with those strategies to be able to either mitigate or to maximize. So one of the things that we focus on as an asset manager is maintaining optionality in our investments and making sure that we're as flexible as possible in order to be able to pivot, if need be, in reaction to market factors. A good example of that is our Garrison Point project in the Liberty Village neighborhood of Toronto. It's an area we knew tremendously well. We had previously developed over 1,600 units in that area in 2007. Now, this is in 2011, we acquired another property there with the intent of building 2 condo towers in an area that we knew very, very well. But lo and behold, like a lot of things in life, things don't go directly as planned and there's things that change. And we were in a period of time in Liberty Village where there was a changing market dynamic. We were starting to see rental rates rise at a significant pace relative to the condo prices. So we started to look at our economics and thought that there may be a better opportunity here to actually develop one of these towers as a rental building rather than keeping it as a condominium. So we did a bunch of work, engaged our analysts, engaged our cost consultants, and we came up with an approach that we thought was a really great, feasible approach to maximize our profit to build a rental building. So we started along that process, and we were pretty far along actually when all of a sudden we started to notice the market dynamics changing again. We saw a couple of condo projects launch sales in the area that were achieving pretty good prices and good sales velocity. So we started to look and say, maybe there's an opportunity here to go back to a condo project in order to maximize our profitability here. And we did that. So we actually pivoted back to a condo project from a rental after we had already made the decision to go from a condo to a rental. And there's a lot of complexity in making those decisions. There's a lot of analysis and time. What I'm condensing into a couple of minutes was a year and a half of analysis going both ways. But all of this is to say that it's really, really critical to have a posture where you can have flexibility because the market changes, the world is dynamic, there are different factors that are going to come at your direction, and you have to be in a position where you can respond. You can't be rigid, otherwise you're going to be caught in a position where you're stuck doing something that might not be in the best interest of investors.